Mamma mia. Lots of emotion today. Lots of stuff. I got up early and I went and celebrated with some of my friends. We get together, we talk about problems, situations, solutions, life, recovering from things that have ailed us, been wronged, trying to deal with life, all that good stuff. So early in the morning, I got together with a bunch of people and we celebrated, and I cried because I was moved and emotional. And I'm a very logical person who's very driven by momentary emotion that just comes because it's just right here. Everything about me is right here. It's almost as if I've been at this game of trying to figure out who I am and what it's all about for so long that the layers, I just don't have any layers left, which for me feels like a really good thing. And then after that, I went to a funeral, and it wasn't a funeral of somebody I know. It was the parent of somebody I know. And I looked across the room at the mother who just lost her husband. It's my friend's mother, and watched her face and her grief, and that was really sad. It was really moving. It was really touching. This is the pain of losing someone you've been married to. I think these people were married over 60 years. It's a long MF time to be with the same person and raise a family together. And now there's just a hole, right? And there's, I'm sure for her, a lot of grief and sadness and maybe a couple of what ifs or a few regrets. And, life is difficult. But I want to get back to this idea that for me, there is good crying and then there is bad crying. And, you know, um, what strikes me is that there's not enough people good crying, or what I call craffing, which is you're crying and laughing at the same time. Like, you're in the middle of crying or having a burst of emotion, and then somebody says something really trite or funny or just something that like punctures into the middle of the grief, and all of a sudden you're laughing. And that's a beautiful thing. I've experienced that a couple of times. It's really wild because you're in the middle of just all this emotional stuff that feels heavy, and then all of a sudden someone makes a joke, and it's as if the heaviness just got more oxygen breathed into it. And all of a sudden, instead of this being this lump or rock, the heaviness of grief and any of the other pain that you're experiencing, all of a sudden it's more like a balloon or a cloud or something that's really light and airy. I think emotions need to be like that. It strikes me very, very frequently that I certainly want to take my emotions seriously, and I also don't want to be immersed in them all the time. I don't want to take them so seriously that I think that they're the only thing that matters or the only thing that's happening, because they're not. And I can assign different circumstances and have different events happen and be crying for very, very different reasons. And the way I was moved earlier in the morning in celebration of myself, my friends, things we've accomplished, the way life is today, the purity of just feeling how fucking good it is. Not the stuff out there. I mean, how good it is in here. And it's like, I just want more people to have that. I want tons and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of people to be brought to this place where they understand what good crying is all about. I want more people to understand what crafting is. I want more people to be able to feel the deepness and heaviness and darkness in their grief to such an extent that they go lower and lower and lower, and then there's nowhere else to go but up into the clouds and into laughing and into love and into joy. Because it really is true that like you can't know the greatest joys unless you've known the greatest sorrows. And my life's been tough, but I'm not claiming any rights to any more toughness than anybody else, because my life has also been super joyful and beautiful. And I'll tell you what I really think, if I was to say, what is the one thing that makes a difference? And it's service. It's like looking for ways not to get my needs met, but looking for ways to really think, how is it that who I am, what I do, can benefit the world? Like, where can I insert myself where I can really make things better without it making it about me? Really inserting who I am and trying to just breathe life and love and lightness into the darkness is really what I want to do. It's all about being useful. And when I'm most concerned with being useful, I'm on this front line of life and I'm doing the deal. and I'm feeling good, and I have nothing to complain about no matter what's going on out there, no matter whether I have a man or don't have a man, whether I got a ton of money or no money. It's all good anyway because it's good in here. So, my hope, my prayer for anybody who's listening today is that whatever you're going through that might be heavy, I hope that you can find that lightness in here. And if you can't find it, it's probably you that's the problem. It's the way you think. It's the way you're struggling. It's the way you're immersing yourself into the problem and into a negative perception that's just going to keep going. And it doesn't have to be like that. I, for one, want you to have more joy. So get in touch if there's something that I can help you with. NicoleDevlin.com, or send me a message on Facebook. Always happy to hear from you. Thanks for taking the time to listen to me today. And I hope that you have a really good rest of your day and weekend. Ciao.